Three of Iran's top leaders, those who survived the initial wave of airstrikes that killed the Ayatollah Khamenei, are the only members of the country's Leadership Council. They are President Masoud Pezeshkian, Chief Justice Hossein Mohseni Eje'i, and Senior Cleric Guardian Council member Ayatollah Alireza Arafi. Arafi stood close to the former supreme leader.
He has had a particular interest in Christianity, which he calls a rival and a competition to Islam, and he has expressed worries about Christian converts and underground churches more than your average cleric.
Iranian dissident Shay Khatiri is vice president and senior fellow at the Yorktown Institute.
If you're a Christian, you should be very excited that finally I can come on the ground, go to church if the regime falls. But if the regime survives, and if Arafi, the member of the interim council, becomes the supreme leader, that would be very worrisome.
Troubling because the potential crackdown on Christians could even be more severe than the Ayatollah Khamenei. Also of concern for Christians is Mojtaba Khamenei, the late supreme leader's son, who may likely follow in his father's footsteps. Khatiri says despite Khamenei's oppressive policies, Christianity has spread extensively in the country, while the number of adherents to Islam has declined.
The highest estimate was that up to 3 million converts live in Iran, convening in underground churches, which just, you cannot admire the courage of these people enough.
Khatiri warns that when the U.S. bombing ends, 90 million Iranians could be swept into a catastrophic civil war. That includes Christians.
You could have a scenario that Iran is dismembered with some portion of the territory held by remnants of the regime, and even asking for foreign militaries like Russia or China or whoever to enter to help them.
Imagine a balkanized country where Turkey moves into Iranian territory. Israel and the Arab states, now united against Iran, could end up turning on each other, with each fighting for a piece of Persia. Gary Lane, CBN News.
Well, the air dominance is just the beginning of this, and we need to realize we need to be in it for the long haul. This isn't something that is going to easily happen. When you have 2,000 generals of the Republican Guard still there and still on the ground, still controlling troops, when you have the clerics say, we're not going to negotiate with the United States, we're going to elect a new Ayatollah, we're going to rebuild and rebuild our terror regime, that should send a chill through all of us. What happened last June was supposed to get them to give up their nuclear ambition. If you continue down that road, we're going to bomb it. And instead of doing that, it redoubled their efforts. In the negotiations, they led with how many kilograms of uranium they had. And anyone with any physics background knew that if you take that number and then take it to the refining, it'll be 1 week before they had 11 nuclear weapons. That is horrific. That is unimaginable to think that there could be 11 nuclear warheads that could go off throughout the Middle East. So let's be in this for the long haul. Let's realize there's a great moment in time that we can preach the gospel to Iran, that we can see an incredible change where this murderous death cult is forever removed from power and from any kind of position. But if we do it halfway, then we can be assured there'll be an incredible crackback against all of the Christians who are currently there, and it's the fastest growing Christian population on the planet today. There are now 1 million of them. Our Heart for Iran ministry is preaching the gospel through satellite television, through the internet, and then most importantly, we have this wonderful Farsi language prayer center where people in Iran, Christians, can call and receive prayer. At the start of this war, the satellite that carried our signal took down not just us, but every single Farsi language channel that they were operating. We were able to get back up in just 2 days on another transponder. Our audience has found us, and here are the phone calls that we've gotten just this week, just 2 of them, where here's someone saying, let's pray, that these days pass safely and peacefully, and that the dawn of freedom rises. Isn't that a wonderful prayer? That's coming from Iran today. Here's another one from Tehran. There have been many attacks in Tehran. However, they've targeted and hit only military centers, and they're not doing anything to the residential areas or civilians. They are safe. The only thing causing anxiety for people is the sound of the explosions. Let's hold on to these prayer requests from Iran. Let's continue to preach the gospel to Iran. Well, let's help the refugees that are leaving and going into Armenia. That's a safe place where we can stage humanitarian relief. When the regime falls, we want to be ready to say, let's do it. In our generation, let's do it. Let's have a complete change to that country. If you want to be a part of this effort, it's real simple. Call us, 1-800-700-7000. Say, I want to give to Iran. There's a lot of different ways you can do it. You can call. You can go to cbn.com/Iran. You can put your camera on your smartphone on that QR code. It'll take you to a giving page, and your gift will be designated to Heart for Iran, helping Christians of Iran who need our help right now in this critical hour. Let's preach the gospel now more than ever to the Iranian people. Let them know there's a much better way to go, and what they've experienced over the last 47 years can end. Let's pray for their release. Let's pray for their freedom. Let's pray for our own leaders, and whether it's in the U.S. or in Israel, that they would have the courage to stand up and say, let's finish this job. Let's not do it halfway. Let's not let this terror regime come back and rebuild. Let's do it. Let's free the Iranian people. Call us, 1-800-700-7000.